Hey everybody, welcome back to Tim Travels. It's your host Terry. As usual, I have my sidekick B with me, but today, special guest, I have a second sidekick, and it's actually my daughter Brittany. I hooked Brittany up with a Prime shirt. So she's a little camera shy. She doesn't really want to be out in YouTube land, but anyway. So Britt's just hanging out with Dad for a little bit. So we're actually at the terminal in Pittston. I got my delivery made in Philadelphia, and the trailer I had needed some work, so I just kind of brought it up here empty. I've dropped that. I'm pinch hitting for another driver whose truck broke down, so sometime after midnight I'm gonna grab a trailer here in the yard and just take it a short distance down to Mechanicsburg, PA, and then down by Harrisburg, and then I'll get another load after that. So what I wanted to talk about today, and by the way, you guys know about the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, right? Harrisburg's the capital, it's the Keystone State, you know all that stuff. William Penn, blah blah blah. Eagles on one side, Steelers on the other side, the Nittany Lions somewhere in the middle. That's Pennsylvania in a nutshell. Well, and you get the Flyers on one side, and the Penguins on another, and then you got the Phillies on one side, and the Pirates on another. You know how it goes. And then we got the 76ers, and then, yeah, that's it. And they just finished up the playoffs, unfortunately. So anyway, so I wanted to talk about the company I work for, the company I contract with. So the numbers are out from what is the source of this? It's Trucking Topics, I believe, is the source. So I went ahead and looked at it, and in actually 5 different categories. I looked at the rankings, and these are all based on revenue numbers. So it just reported revenue. So Prime was the number 18 trucking company overall, with $2.2 billion in revenue, top line revenue. And that includes every company that does any kind of trucking. So all the LTL companies, you know, UPS, FedEx, they're all in there. All the, you know, straight LTL companies like Saia and Old Dominion, every trucking company, drayage companies, intermodal, whatever they do, they're in there. So Prime was number 18. Like I said, $2.2 billion in revenue, $326.5 million in net income. And I don't know, I didn't calculate the OR on that, but and they listed 7,199 power units and 14,162 trailers. Now, if you're not super familiar with Prime, I mean, everybody knows about Prime. They do reefer, and you know, our trucks are everywhere. But Prime also does tanker, flatbed, and intermodal. So in the intermodal space, we don't show a ranking. That right now, I mean, if you want to know who the leaders are in intermodal, just watch any intermodal freight train go by you at a railroad crossing. You'll pretty much know. The only difference is if it's you know, whether it's the highest priority trains, it's going to have a little bit of everybody, and then some trains you're going to see, it seems like all they are is Schneider, or all they are is JB Hunt, or all they are is Hub Group, and of course those are huge players in intermodal. So we're not ranked in that, and I think I mentioned it. Prime is going away from intermodal trailers to intermodal containers and chassis. So I don't know if that transition is for any other purpose than they just prefer the containers and chassis over the actual trailers, or if they're trying to ramp up their presence in the intermodal sector. And so then in tankers, we are ranked, Prime is ranked number 18. A lot of the higher ranked companies, that's because it's a tanker and bulk, tanker slash bulk category. A lot of the companies are companies you would recognize that's pretty much all they do. So we were number 18 in tanker with 75 million in revenue in that sector. In flatbed, and so this category is flatbed specialized, we were number 12 with 200 million in revenue. And of course, you know, a lot of the bigger players in that space, the TMCs, the Mavericks, there's some other specialty carriers, Anderson, ATS, that are up there. And there's some that aren't really household names, but they just, they make a butt ton of money from it. So, you know, it's not always about, you know, how well known you are. Sometimes it's just about being really, really good at what you do and having a specialty. And then, of course, in reefer sector, refrigerated transport, Prime is number 1. And Prime isn't just number 1 in refrigerated. Prime is like the emperor of refrigerated. And what I mean by that is this. Prime had 1.9 billion in revenue from its reefer division last year. That is 1 billion more, over 1 billion more than the number 2 carrier. The number 2 carrier is KLLM, or as I like to call it, WorldCom Trucking, because Bernie Ebbers, you know, WorldCom used to own KLLM. But they, you know, and if you combine the number 2 and 3 refrigerated carriers, their revenue still doesn't equal Prime's. So Prime is primo, el primero, you know. So that's Prime's big money winner. 1.9 billion in revenue in reefer. And then, you know, I don't know if you add up all the numbers, there's probably going to be money from brokerage, probably money from truck sales, all, you know, different things, different ways trucking companies make money. But I will say this, it's nice to be, you know, I know there's a lot of people that are not like, they don't love quote mega carriers. But I've worked at excuse me, 2 mega carriers, and both of them were pretty good at what they did. The other one was Knight. Both of them were pretty good at what they did. And and I've worked at 2 smaller carriers. Only one of them, and by the way, one of them that I just really didn't like, they don't even appear anymore in any of these things. So I don't know what that means. They used to at least show up on the reefer list. They would be like in the top 20 in the reefer list. They don't even show up there at all anymore because I looked. And then my previous carrier, GP Transco, showed up in the truckload category at number 54. So, you know, respectable, and you know, they're trying to grow their business, of course. So so it is nice to be affiliated with the biggest kid on the block. That doesn't mean it's the best kid on the block, but you know, it does mean they're doing something right. Their customers are happy. And again, that top line revenue number, that's what the company is able to generate. That's not a commentary on how any given company treats its employees, or you know, how much they share with their employees or anything. That's kind of a different set of numbers. But I do think it points up the fact that Prime, you know, certainly actually in all their divisions other than intermodal, and maybe even in intermodal too, I just don't know the numbers, but they're a player, and they are, people are working hard to keep that going. So it's nice to be affiliated with an organization that's professional. And by the way, when I was out in California recently, I think I mentioned I picked up yams, and I sent a message to my fleet manager, because when I walked in the office at this packing company in Atwater, California, there were already 2 other Prime trucks, no, 3 other Prime trucks on the property. One was in a loading dock, one was just getting off the scale, and then one guy had just parked overnight, and he wasn't yet moving. But when I went in the office, the guy in there, who I'm sure has seen a gazillion truck drivers in his office over the years, because he was probably around 70, and I'm pretty sure he owns the company, or he's the boss man. His comment to me was, "Man, you guys at Prime are, you know, always on time. You know, you guys are easy to work with." And I said, "Well, you know, that's what we get paid for." But it's nice to know that my peers, my colleagues, even if I don't know them, the guys and gals behind the wheel, they're doing their jobs, which you know, make a difference on those revenue numbers. You know, so it's nice that people rely on us and trust us with their stuff. And I'm not saying we do everything perfect, obviously nobody does, but it's nice to be recognized in that way. Yeah, so anyway, that's just a quick hit on the business side of things. Yeah, we'll keep you updated. Everybody be safe. There's been a lot of rain on the East Coast today, it looks like, but take it easy. And by the way, during that horrible accident that happened on I-65, where I think 9 kids and 1 adult were killed in a couple different vehicles, you know, that happened during a torrential downpour, and it was a multi-vehicle accident with subsequent fire, and there were semis, trucks that were involved. You know, a rainstorm in Alabama in the summertime is probably not the same as going across I-80 in Wyoming in January, but it obviously can be just as dangerous. So every day is dangerous. Every day is a day to keep safety in mind. And I'm not commenting on any of those drivers. It was a horrible accident. I mean, I know that the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration is going to be looking at it. Probably OSHA, certainly the Alabama State Police and stuff. But and hopefully they'll figure out what happened. But it's a horrible loss of life, and you know, it should remind everybody that you can't take anything for granted. You know, the weather can change, even, you know, just the summer. It's not just winter weather that we should be concerned with. So anyway, I share that with you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. By the way, we're up to 260 subscribers, so it's just awesome. It's awesome. So anyway, I will talk to you guys soon. Be safe, and we'll update you when we have something to report. Bye.